everyone. Thank you for tuning in today. Today we have a very special guest, and I'm very excited about him being here and sharing some of his story. Today we have Derek McLemore. Today he will be expressing thoughts on suicidal, his experiences from a child, how it affected his life, and where he's at today. So I introduce you to Derek McLemore. Hi, Derek.
Hello everyone, my name is Derek McLemore and I'm 34 years old. As far as back as I can remember, as a child growing up, I came out of a small family and I was adopted from birth. How suicide became a part of my life and how I overcame it was a lifelong process, and sometimes, it can creep up today, not suicidal, being suicidal, but just those things that may come along with being suicidal, like dealing with thoughts of loneliness or rejection, or having feelings of abandonment, which is all a part of that process of having suicidal thoughts. And it happened in such a way where I was just a young child at the age of 9, and that's when my mother took sick. And she was admitted into the Baptist Medical Center. It's a hospital in Columbia, South Carolina. And I was at that time, I was in elementary school. And I had to deal with my mother being rushed in and out of the hospital ICU, and going back and forth and suffering from strokes and other different sicknesses and ailments. And it didn't take a toll on me until after she had passed away. And I had to cope with losing my mother. And so my sisters and brothers introduced me to a psychiatrist where I had to go get counseling. And he would ask me questions of, have I ever had any suicidal thoughts? And I would reject it and shut down sometimes, and sometimes I wouldn't even answer his questions. And so that's when he admitted me into the Baptist Medical Center. It was the same floor that my mother passed on, and that's where I was stationed for 30 days, and I had psychiatric evaluation.
So how did you learn how to cope with this feeling, with those feelings?
Well, at that time, I had to learn how to cope with that feeling because they gave us counseling. And, we would have sessions where everyone would have group counseling, and we would talk about our feelings and emotions, and we would come out and play games and stuff, and they would see how you would interact with others and watch your behavior and that sort of thing. And, they would do the mood kind of assimilation thing, where it puts you to sleep to see if you have any sleeping moves, making noises and stuff while you're resting, anything that will alter your mood. But I coped with it. It was just over time I had to learn how to just deal with being depressed, and they diagnosed me and gave me medication for depression.
Okay.
And that medicine was called Paxil. It was a pink pill, and it was an antidepressant. Along with that, they gave me an anger management pill, which probably was another effect or a trigger, which was associated with that. And so I wouldn't say it was a feeling or emotion that I overcame overnight, because time heals. And so at that time, I would believe it was best for me that I did get counseling at that time. But how I overcame it with the help of others was counseling, group therapy. At that time, it was just the beginning stages, just an emotion, having to deal with being rejected and feeling abandoned and feeling lonely, and losing the one that you love the most. The mother is the one who nurtures you, and that losing her was like my life just shut down, like I lost everything. You know, before you get a chance to live, it's just like everything inside of you dies. So you don't want to associate with anyone, don't want to talk with anyone. Feelings of sadness and bitterness and resentment, all of those things are a part of having thoughts of suicide.
Have you ever made preparations to actually perform the act of suicide, or were these just thoughts?
They were just thoughts. Performing the act, I believe, I didn't get that far because of my upbringing. Because consciously I was always told, if you ever commit suicide, you're going to hell. And I was raised in church, so that was against what my family believed. And so I don't think I had enough guts to commit suicide, even though I had the thoughts to. And at that time, I didn't have anything that would I could danger myself with, as far as in any guns, knives, medicine, because they would only give you, they would watch you while you take your medicine and stuff like that of that nature.
Now that you're aware of your mental health state and what emotion awareness is to you, and you've experienced the concept of thinking suicidal thoughts. Today, if there was someone watching this interview today, what would you give this person or these persons to take with them today?
I would tell them to surround themselves with people that they know that love them. For me, myself, personally, I believe it was just a spare of the moment, because I just believe God just had me at that time. And sometimes it just happens that way. A lot of people don't like to share with anyone their thoughts of suicide because they don't know what the unknown would be. Most people who have the tendency to be suicidal is not going to share it with anyone. It's just something that you have to have or someone that knows you well enough have to be able to say, hey, something is wrong, because this person is not acting themselves. And usually when you see signs of that nature, you would want to get that person help. And for me, because I was young, me getting that help, I didn't have any control or say-so of saying I'm not going to go or get any help, because I was a child and my sisters was adults, so I had to listen to what they said. So that's how I got the help. And because when I got the help with the counselor, at that time I was shut down anyway. I didn't talk, I didn't share any emotions, and because I didn't share any emotion, and because I didn't open up and talk, the psychiatrist had to go to another step where he said, well, hey, since we can't be here all day and I'm an open clinic, and it's only from 9 to 5, it was a job, he had to put me under surveillance, where you have to be watched and people monitor you for a certain amount of days, and they do a
evaluation.
Yeah, an evaluation of your treatment. And so, and that was for 30 days. And they give you an honorable discharge if you successfully complete your evaluation.
What an amazing story. Thank you for sharing today. I think that those that are watching today, they're really going to gather something from your story, because experiencing the thought of suicide at such a young age, I can only imagine what that's like. But thank you for sharing. I'm pretty sure that you have touched someone's heart today and opened someone's mind. This has been an interview with Derek McLemore. I hope that you hearing this interview will, if you are thinking of committing suicide, or if you've had suicidal thoughts, his story, I pray that it has shared some light on how you're feeling, and you're able to connect and reach out to someone. I mean, I know suicide is very hard to talk about, but we all need support. This is Kimberly Quinones. Thank you for tuning in.